live.
Awesome.
And
Cool.
it's working. The RTMP Crypto Vibes live stream is going. And if
Nice.
anyone doesn't know, that's Kevin Jones, aka the one and the only Crypto Mastery. Uh, Hi, everyone. I'm Marcus Deverell at Edge and Node, and welcome to another episode of Crypto Vibes. And we're right here vibing. And that's what we do. I think we need a better tagline, but until then, we'll
Crypto
figure it out.
vibes, and that's what we do.
And that's what Crypto Vibes, and that's what we do. And it being a vibey show, there is a little QR code in the top corner of this live stream. If anyone here is watching and wants to join in, go ahead and take a photo of that and jump into chat with us. We're in Telegram. And I'll see next time about making that dang thing bigger because it is quite tiny. And that is the place to go see us and chat with us in Telegram, where we're going to be hanging out here today. So, as we're building along and having a good time today, we will be improving, of course, the interface so we could chat with everybody as we're going on. But we're noticing is, we're streaming to YouTube, to X, to, other locations. And I know Riverside does something that brings everything together, but it's been a little finicky, so we're just going to stick with Telegram for now. So, anyways, Kevin, how you doing today, buddy?
Doing good, man. It's a beautiful day. Yeah, it's a good day to vibe code. So I'm
It is.
excited to see what I think last week, I kind of took the reins for a long time, and I think today you're going to build something cool. So I think I'm going
Yeah.
to learn a thing or two as
Yep.
well. So yeah, I'm
Yep.
excited.
That is correct. The goal today, I've tinkered around with two products recently that were AI focused, and I saw one of them really aims to solve the issue of guide rails. When you're building, I'm sure you're noticing hallucinations are such a prevalent experience. It's almost like you're dealing with someone who has severe ADHD sometimes, and you're just like, okay, nothing wrong with severe ADHD. I'm a consumer of the ADHD. That is my lifestyle. But when you're dealing with someone who just can't keep their eyes on task, it's tough. It is tough. And that's what it feels like sometimes with hallucinations. So this first product aims to guide the code, and that's really what it's called. It's called CodeGuide. And I liked it. I actually tinkered around with it this last week, and I thought it would be good for me to just talk about today, and then also Replit. And we're going to see how those two interact. I remember we talked about Replit a little bit this week. Had you heard of Replit before we talked about it, or no?
Yeah, of course. Replit's
Okay.
been around a while. I think all the AI stuff they've added, the features really like amplified them a lot.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, I think Replit's been around, so yeah, the AI features are pretty cool in there. So I think
Yeah.
it's definitely worth showing off.
Yeah, I think so too. So, well, what I wanted to do was I was brainstorming before this, and I think this is cool style for this as we're evolving through this show to come up with a prompt and then follow it through to the show's end. So we'll see how this goes. The prompt I wanted to work on essentially was if we are to build an app, let's make a webcam selfie app that mints an NFT of that image automatically, is basically part of it. So you take an image, mints it, and that's it. And there's so many other things that you could do with that, but essentially I wanted to make it as seamless as possible and see how well the AI can kind of figure out that. I don't want to necessarily deploy this to chain. I want this to be simulated on a local blockchain. I don't want to actually have this, on chain. Maybe that's asking too much, and also with getting the API keys and all the, all the private keys and putting that up on screen. I'm not going to be doing that today, so let's just keep that tidy in maybe a hard hat project. And how's that sound today? We'll see if we could do that.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay,
Excited.
let's do it. All right. So we don't know how this is going to go, everyone, but if anyone has commentary and wants to share, go chat with us in Telegram. Is that actually pointing in the right direction? That'd be pretty cool.
This way, other way.
Other way?
Yeah,
For me it
there
looks
you
like
go.
that way. All right. Go
That's funny.
go go to that little QR code, and I do mean little, very small QR code that I can't expand, but it'd be cool if I could. As I share my screen, and we'll get vibe coding. And so I find that it's actually pretty cool to start with CodeGuide. And screen one, sharing, and
Nice.
CodeGuide.
Yep. Can
Okay,
see it.
so this is CodeGuide, and I've been pretty impressed with it. It has its problems, but it's also not necessarily its fault. I think it's, first to the space. It does cost $29 per month. I bit the bullet and I was like, okay, I'm going to do it just for a little bit to see how it goes. And I've liked it. I don't think I'll maintain subscription to it at this point, but I do see potential. Maybe I'll come back to it, but we'll see. But let's just tinker around right now and have a good time. Is that big enough here?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Looks
good?
good.
Okay, cool. Essentially, what this does is it creates a bunch of MD files for your IDE to reference, for cursor to reference as you're building, or in this case, Replit, what we're going to be trying out today. So let's work on this prompt. I want to build a simple demo app to take a selfie from my webcam and mint the image as an NFT on a simulated hard hat blockchain. Um, and anything else that I should add here?
No, it looks good.
Okay. I've enjoyed the refine, which really takes this analysis and does a quite a good job at extending the idea and has pretty much where I noticed went wrong was, of course, it would make assumptions. It would hallucinate a little bit, and so it does help to read every little one of these things. I'm reading these as we go here. If you see anything jump out at you, let me know.
Mm. The app will use
Supabase,
Superbase.
no.
We don't want that.
Local storage. Let's see, that'd be nice. Just keep everything local as possible.
Yeah.
Uh, okay. I don't want to expand to AI image enhancement, automatic tagging. You see how it's a little bit hallucinating? We're just that
I
little
wonder.
thing. If we missed Supabase, we would have gone off, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But everything else seems pretty good, yeah?
Yep.
Okay, well, let's go to the next step. Yeah, one thing about this is it does have this little Cody thing here, which I tried out a few days ago. A little bit
Hmm.
creepy.
Yep.
Have you seen that? Have you used that before?
No. No.
It's creepy. It reads your screen, and then you could verbally talk to it as you are building, and it talks back to you as it's reading your screen and gives you tips on what to do.
Nice.
Yeah.
Kind of creepy, but Big
Yeah.
Brother.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not sure how you feel about that.
So
Just
is it like
because
basically a screen share and it's getting access to your screen sharing? Okay.
in real time, and you talk to an AI in real time as they're screen sharing your screen.
That's kind of cool.
It's kind of cool. It's a little clunky. It's a little clunky. It's a little clunky. I'll be honest, but
Yeah. Okay.
it's on its way. It's like, okay, I could see this in a year or two being like pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
Just for backup, I'm thinking we should do cursor because I know it works there. I haven't done this save for like once before on Replit, but I think this is reasonable to try both out. And then the AI models, I'm enjoying Sonnet and a Sonnet. Any preference on these?
No. No. Not at
No.
all. Looks good.
Okay, that all looks good to me. And
By the way, is
then
this a subscription or is this something you can just try for free?
I've been using this directly through Cursor. And
Hmm.
so this goes right through my
Oh, gotcha.
Cursor subscription. It simply it creates the MD files to use the AI encourages it. Like basically, this is a very accurate MD file generator.
Mm.
So who is the primary audience for this demo? Let's see what the AI answer is here. Let's go
So this is
demo.
a kind of like sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but this is
Yeah.
kind of like a more of a idea generation tool in a sense, like where it helps you kind of vet out like what a business model is for like what you're building.
Yeah, and I really like that because this AI is completely unopinionated at first. All these models have no idea what we want. And so if we just give these AI models just, hey, this is what I'm thinking, they're going to go off on tangents, and that's fine. This really takes the time to have developers ask questions of themselves. And I'd really recommend anyone watching this to really take the time to read all of these things. So Designed to provide educational experience by demonstrating how to capture images using webcam and them, and that seems reasonable.
Hmm.
And do you want users to sign in via Superbase auth? This process to be entirely anonymous and session based. Good job. Simplifies experience by not requiring sign-in and sign-ups. Okay, very nice. No user accounts. I don't like auth, anyways. I mean, I like auth, but I don't like it. It keeps on assuming Superbase, so
Yeah,
that's
maybe you need
interesting.
to call it IPFS.
Yeah, because we could do pinata, I suppose. But I mean, we're trying to simulate. I don't know if you could do that simulated. I'm sure you could do it simulated, but anyways.
Usually, when I'm doing anything NFT stuff, I'm still using like Pinata, or I use Pinata actually most of the
Okay,
time.
so that'll be good. Do you want to queue this? What would the queue you'd prefer?
Maybe
Store
yeah, we
the.
can just store the images and any metadata in IPFS.
Okay. Okay. And let's just let that be. Okay. Should we generate this understand metadata? Okay, keep it minimal. Okay. Let's see what it thinks. Standard. I think standard is fine.
Yeah, it
That's
looks
fine.
good.
Yeah. How should the app interact with the blockchain? So there's already been two hallucinations. Uh, I think simulating a wallet as opposed to actually connecting to any of our wallets. How's that sound?
It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not-
Let's just do a simulated wallet in the app itself. No need to connect to any wallet, any actual wallet. Okay. On the NFT details, what transaction fields matter most? I mean, sure, we'll just generate that. That really doesn't matter. If you want users. So when you're building, Kevin, you're noticing, I'm sure, hallucinations. What are your typical like go-tos when you're just like, what the fuck? You know?
Yeah, there's a lot of like, oh no, I need to correct this kind of like prompt. It's not correct. Yeah, I just try to like give it docs or like point it in the right direction. I think for what you're doing is you're generating a lot more uh, like very specific stuff that needs to be accurate. So yeah, I think it's just reviewing it and making sure it's in line with what you're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
We
Yep.
don't have AGI yet, you know. So
And I was actually saw someone talking about that. It was the OpenAI. Yeah, I forgot. It was a 60 Minutes interview, and
Mm,
I mean, he was talking essentially. It wasn't the head, the
there's the guy from
Sam.
DeepMind, right?
I think it was DeepMind. Yeah,
Yeah,
and he was saying that growth, of course, has been logarithmic, and I mean, just 6 months ago, like my entire workflow has changed. It's crazy.
yeah, yeah.
Um, so very much it's been interesting.
I think his name is
Plan
Dennis.
to play
Yeah.
demo on Vercel. No demo on Vercel, just local deploy on my own server. Um, okay. Oh, just local deploy, not local. We're going to try Replit. Um, we're going to use Replit for coding. And if anyone's watching here and hasn't used Replit, highly recommended. Kevin and I are going to give that a go with this. And Replit allows for some really cool AI integrations. Another one of those integrations is multiplayer coding, which I think is really cool. So
Yeah.
we're going to try that out. And do we need support from multiple networks? So just hard hat, that's perfect. Yep, Rinkby, Gurley. Okay, let's go for it. I like all the details and like the questions. Like if you're ever building an actual app and you want to do that, this just makes sense to me. It goes through the AI tooling, and we can look at the responses. And once again, these aren't the documents. Now we're going to generate the documents. And from there, we can keep on vibing. Yeah,
Awesome.
the questions it asks, like, there's still such a, people are saying, oh my gosh, like coding is going to go away, or we're going to have these take over. There's so many questions right now that, I mean, who knows if you're not a software engineer, Supabase, IPFS, SHAD-CN, like the hallucinations are monstrous. So unless you have an idea of how to like guide this thing,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's gonna be a long time before like that's actually consideration. I genuinely think that this is just gonna be so many more amazing tools like this in the coming years, and this is only gonna get better. I mean, they're absolutely worth seeing all the data and seeing how they can improve. So I'm kind of excited for all of the different tooling that the nerds get together.
I think that it's like a two-part thing. I think it's like the existing developers that are uh, pretty good with code they've been building for a while are going to really get elevated and taken to this like new level where they're going to
Yeah.
learn new things and open up there and expand their mind. But then these developers that are very like green and like just getting started and don't understand that, it's going to kind of like help them find their niche and their path to like what they want to build on and what's
Yeah.
exciting for them, but do it a lot
Yeah.
faster. So yeah, there's definitely going to be. I was joking around. I was saying like, oh, there's going to be lots of bugs in the next like 5 to 10 years because
Yeah.
there's going to be so
Lots of
much code
exploits.
that's written. Yeah, and so that's I think it's going to take away from like uh, some of the AI narrative in the long run because we're going to need to build like really good like guardrails like what you're
Yeah.
doing to like make sure that things aren't getting out of control, right?
Yep. Yep.
Um, but yeah, everyone should like leverage this as like a tool, right? So
Yep. Yep. So this, like I said, this is a tool, and like you're saying, it's a tool. This feels like a tool. I like this is just an incredibly accurate document generator. That's all it's doing. And we're realizing the power of prompting, which is just natural language, and that is code now. And natural language is code, and
mm,
accuracy with natural language really matters. And so this feels incredibly helpful for me. I'll talk about the next step that I've seen a few times. I tried it like 2 or 3 times this week and noticed still there's hallucinations. Of course there is, but we'll talk about that in time. So
cool.
still generating the documents. I like its outer scope. Very nice. We're not going to do super base auth, history gallery, advanced. Yeah, don't care about any of this Docker. Nope. Analytics or billing. Nope. Um,
Docker, nope.
yeah, Docker. Nope. I've yet to. I love Docker and I don't like Docker. I'll be honest. There's times it helps my life out, and times I don't understand you.
Docker's, yeah, it's a little bit of a, what's the word? It's a little complex in some ways and definitely difficult to work with. It's super powerful.
Yeah, I've messaged you multiple times, like, what do I do here, Kevin? I remember many times I'm blocked on it.
I'll say this, Docker is great. Kubernetes sucks.
Ku- I remember going into a Kubernetes for a few months and like just slowly backing away and just like doing the Homer Simpson into the bush. Like, oh my God, that was
In my opinion, Kubernetes is like over engineering at its max.
ah
In some way, I mean, obviously you can build some really cool stuff if you know it,
sure.
but it's very, very complex tool to understand.
Sure, sure. Well, these are the docs right here. So we've waited, we've seen everything, and everything looks pretty good. The PRD is here, and the one thing that I always like to go over, and this last week I really dove into the implementation plan. This is, I think, the gold for me. It's like step one, step two, step three, step four, and it goes into different phases, which is environment setup, front end development, back end development, hard hat. Like it really does and integrates front end and back end, and then deploys. Like it. All of these steps are. This is the gold. This is like for me the whole thing that really works well. So let's go ahead and copy the prompt, and we're going to open it in Replit, which I'll copy a tool. I think. Why doesn't Replit show? That's
Hmm.
sad.
Are you in the right environment that has Replit set up?
Yeah, I did say Replit, but that's okay. Let's just copy to clipboard. Let's see if we can copy all. Let's download everything. Let's download all documents, and we'll see if we can. Here we go. Copy prompt.
Your voice is cutting out a little bit,
Oh,
by the
sorry.
way.
Gotta be better about that. Copy prompt. It does only. Okay, continue with coding. Let's just go ahead and I've got the prompt and we'll go to Replit. It does automatically go into Cursor, which I think is pretty cool, but let's just try Replit until we're bonked, okay? It's just not gonna work. So we're gonna create an app and I'll make the screen bigger so we can see. And we don't want templates. We name your app public. Okay, I guess we have to do a template, all right? So HTML, CSS, JS. I think it was a Node. Yeah, it was Node. Does it have Express?
You can't like set code guide there and it won't like it.
Yeah, I know. This is interesting. Okay, I would personally, as a dev, want it to automatically go over here. Let's see if this works, and if it doesn't, we'll just go ahead and be okay with that. So the whole reason I wanted to use Replit was because we had this multiplayer opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that, Kevin?
Yeah.
All right. And if this works, if we can get this working, that'd be good. Let's do Kevin at edge.com. We're blocked. Okay, so guess what? We're not going to do this. We're going to close this. And this is why I had the cursor as a backup. Cursor works very, very well with this. So we'll go to GitHub Desktop. We're going to make a new repo. And we're going to call this the selfie NFT app. And we're going to do that. And let's go for it. Okay, so boom. Okay, so this is the cool thing here with this whole dance that we saw, all the words in the world. You just
Mm-hmm.
paste it right there. And look at this. This is all the value right here. It gives
Mm.
us an endpoint. If the euro turns to JSON, do you see how this really just goes right in? And
Interesting.
yeah,
Okay.
it takes advantage of the connectivity to the files that we just created. It
Mm-hmm.
curls it, grabs the file, downloads it. You're going to see in the project structure, there we go, documentation. Just got everything, and it's going.
Mm.
It's
Okay.
going.
Interesting.
So let's just sit back and hang.
We're
And this will
vibing.
literally run. I
We're
put this
vibing right now.
on YOLO mode, which basically is like it will run even the terminal commands. It will run everything, no matter what.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Of course, yeah. That's awesome.
And yeah, so we're just gonna let this go all the way through.
So it's creating a
And
cursor MDC file. Is that what it's creating down there?
yeah,
Um,
I guess it's doing it. Okay, wait.
I'm just
Um,
curious. Like if you expand the
oh,
dot cursor.
failed. Okay. Temporary last. Okay, so let's create a new folder just to help this out. What did it want to? Docs. That's fine. And we want to move cursor, VS Code, and documentation. Cursor, VS Code, and
Now, why are
documentation.
you having to do
Docs.
that?
This is what it's saying to do. There's create next app failed because the current directory has
Hmm.
folders in it.
Oh, because
Um,
you spun up some. Okay, that's
hmm
weird, but
Yep.
all
All right.
right.
Fair enough. Okay. Very nice. And make dir. Make dir. Very nice. We're going for it now.
I'm kind of
Uh,
surprised it didn't just like suggest the commands for you to fix it, you
Sometimes.
know?
Yeah, that'd be nice. All right. Okay, app code is initializing and it's doing its thing. So
Okay.
essentially, the would I like to use yes? That's fine. Oh, it's asking for app router. Yes. Okay. That's fine. Um, the just like with everything else in this new AI world, there's hallucinations. And when I'm building with CodeGuide, I like to get that. This last week I noticed if I could one shot it, basically it's accurate all the way through as it's building, and that implementation plan that was noticed in where is it here in docs, it had documentation. Or where did they go? Cursor. There they are.
Mm,
The actual folders. Where is it? Implementation plan. This to me is what it's going through. It's going to one, to
gotcha.
two, to three, to four. It's going right down the list. And if it sometimes is off, it starts hallucinating.
Mm,
And like if I get all the way to the end and it's like 50% off or 70% off, that might be on me. And if I try to adjust it, it starts hallucinating. Like
mm,
I've noticed a few times where if I try to just build a new feature, just a small feature, I sometimes just start the whole repo over. And it's funny how it's accurate like that. But, you know,
okay.
sometimes it's not.
So I'm a
Uh,
little confused. Just I'm kind of curious. These cursor rules directory that you normally would have like MDCs for like whatever you're
yeah.
building or working on.
Yep.
These are created from and downloaded from the guide. Yeah, code
Yes.
guide.
These are all code guide.
And I'm
Yes,
trying to
every
wonder,
one of
I'm
these.
trying to figure out why you had to move them into the docs folder. Like, didn't it download those? Like, didn't it put them there? Maybe that was a
It put them
hallucination.
there. Yep, and then the create next app looks for an
Oh, ah, that's
empty
why.
folder
Okay,
structure, and then it
okay.
bonked, and
That makes
so
sense.
it said, "Hey, go ahead and please take those, files out, folders out, and we'll keep on going." So
Got you, got you.
that was the only thing. There we go. There we go. It's figuring stuff out. All right, this is exciting. All right, so. Yeah, I mean, if I was developing apps, I remember my very first app ever. I remember very much. I was so proud of it. It was this little CLI tool, and that took me like 2 weeks of just a basic CLI tool.
Yeah.
And I don't even remember what it did, but I just remember I was so happy that I got. It was print. I was using Python, and print parentheses.
Pretty
You know,
prints?
no, not even. It was not pretty.
Just regular print.
Just regular print. And I remember that very much. And then to think of, I mean, I built a CLI just like a week ago. There was so much, just similar to this. And so I
Yeah.
feel like this kind of push is going to be interesting. I do want to keep on pushing, though, in that wedge where AI and crypto exist. And
Hmm.
um, this agentic trading kind of, I mean, I feel like there's going to be some interesting agentic trading strategies that we're going to have new opportunities to rug a lot of people. And like literally, like that's what agentic stuff can do. Like you can hard code in, some attack vectors. I mean, there's going to have to be some security with this type of stuff. It's kind of scary, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I think it makes sense for like agents to have access to a wallet and funds to be able to do stuff like that. But I mean, I think you probably need to do it in a way. It's kind of like when you give your kids lunch money, right, to
Yeah.
go to school. You're going
Yep.
to assume they're not going to go down and buy a Nintendo 64 with your credit card or
Right.
whatever it was. Nintendo
Right.
64 is a bit old. I'm aging myself,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean. Like I think there's going to have to be some mechanism where you control that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Some kind of mechanism to control. And I, should I ever give an agent any sum of money to get going, I'm going to want to have a, at least initially, just a uh, control over should that transaction execute, should it not. Completely
Mm,
depends on the moment and how I'm feeling and the amount of money and context. I mean, I don't know, and this is going to be an incredible UX problem to solve. How does a team design a user experience where once they lose money, it's not if they lose money, it's once they lose money, they won't feel shitty. You know?
yeah, yeah.
Like, um, I don't know how that happens because if I have an agent and it loses, let's say, I'm going to throw out a number there, $50,000, and it goes, this is what the market said to do.
Mm.
I'd be like,
Oh, okay.
you know what I mean? Like, logically, this is what, I should have done. And then to then trust it.
Well, I think those are the type of like risks you probably take with like cutting edge technology. It's
Oh,
kind of like the
totally.
same with blockchain, like people that bought Bitcoin early on, they did this whole Mount Gox thing and
Yep.
that was the way you did it. And,
Yep.
your private keys were stored on some server in a basement in Japan and
Yep.
there was not much you could really do.
You're right.
So I think it's one of those caveats where it will evolve and it will be safer in the future, right?
Yeah.
Especially like in crypto realm, like well, I don't know what the numbers are, but I would love to see like what percentage of users have a hardware wallet and what
Uh-huh.
percentage of users have like a multi-sig.
Sure.
Um, and then even going beyond that, like what percentage of users would even use an AI agent to make transactions, is
You,
probably pretty low.
you worded it really well. The like, how much money would you trust your 5-year-old with? Kind of it's a similar decision of like how
Oh, it worked. Is it
it
ready? Get
yeah, it
started.
works. It pulled up. Yeah, it pulled up. Localhost 3000. So I haven't
Let's make
tested it
this
yet.
moment
So
forever.
I'm not going to open the console. That's how much trust I have in this to absolutely work for the first time. All right, get started. Capture your selfie. Oh.
Well, it's
It's
very
good. It's actually it's doing my phone camera because I have
what?
the
What?
it's because I
That's
have
impressive.
the yeah. Okay, this is spooky now. All right. Let me just get this set up. All right. All right, make this smaller. There we go.
There we
Can you see
go.
my screen?
Yes, 100%.
Okay, there we go. This is interesting. All right, capture photo. Oh, terrible shot. Oh my
Good
God.
photo.
All right. All right, upload to IPFS with a tiny button. IPF Euro. Okay, simulated hash. I like that. No, we're actually not doing this to IPFS. We're just simulating it. Very nice.
Yeah, so this is
Mint
good for like
NFT.
prototyping and
Yeah, I like it. Okay, that's
uh-oh.
okay. This is okay. We don't have like already that was great. We have buttons, we have simulation. We like it's already there. Let's see what our console has to say about this. But I mean, already, like I'm very happy. How are you feeling?
Yeah, yeah. Maybe you can next thing you can do is splash at it and see if it can like make it look a little better. Um,
It bothered me too.
it definitely
Yeah,
looked like we were in 1997,
it did. It
minus
did,
the
and you notice, yeah, you
simple
notice
HTML.
the, yeah, there we go. Image with SRC. So we have that. It's just in bytes. I was just not converting. Okay, there we go. Simulated there, minting NFT. It's doing all these simulations, which is fine.
Yeah,
I'm happy with this. I'm very
yeah.
happy with this. It has one error, and we'll just NFT details. Yeah, it's not going to show, and that's okay. So um, I'm stoked with this.
Yeah.
Do I'm more impressed that we got to the place where number one, it hacked my iPhone. um, but yeah, like I was like, oh my god,
Totally
this
hacked your iPhone.
yeah,
They literally just turned your phone on, like
yeah,
literally.
yeah.
That
It was
is
sitting right
so
here,
true.
and it
That
was
is.
like, badoop. So
I assume you use like you can use your Mac for like your camera somehow
hmm
in your
yeah, it's
yeah.
called. Yeah, Mac has an option where your webcam, if you want to have a dual camera setup,
Mm,
or I guess have a camera that plugs
yeah,
into your screen. You could do that. So, anyways,
gotcha. Okay.
um, but yeah, I mean overall, let's just I mean take a look at the structure of the files. Um, yeah, yeah. Okay, so essentially we just have a basic next JS application with the app folder running
Mm-hmm.
and a basic layout, basic page, and it's just doing basic pages. I mean, it does everything you really kind of need. It gets the
Mm-hmm.
buttons put together because the capture is there. Where's the button? There we go. So we have
Mm-hmm.
this. I mean, I like it, to get
Yeah.
started.
Yeah.
Um, my still issues now we run into the issue, and this is always what happens for me, at least in this last week, where I would start prompting here, and of course it would start hallucinating, you know. And
Mm.
I'm still yet to figure that one out, where it's like, hey, how do we, um, if it doesn't have a step by step by step by step by step, context is lost almost. It's almost
Mm.
like a one shot type of thing. So
Interesting. And why do you think
yeah,
that is? Do you think it's because of the structure of those MDC files?
I don't know. I don't
Because
know.
I think maybe those MDC files are a little overkill for after it's been bootstrapped.
Maybe,
So,
yeah, because it keeps on referring to them and they're in the past.
uh-huh.
Like if I've done 20 prompts or 30 prompts, the code has changed massively.
Mm.
And if it keeps referring to those documents in the past and then also looks at where we are currently, where I'm at currently might be completely different from those original documents. So yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. So that codeguide.dev team, fix that if you're out there listening. And then also plug into Replit. That would be really nice too. Replit team, plug in there.
Yeah.
Um,
That was a weird that because you said you did it before where you could hook it to Replit, right? So,
I was able to hook it to Replit, and so I don't know
mm,
what happened there. Maybe it's because I had two apps built. I have two in there
mm,
now. There's three for free, but I have you invited. I don't know. I'm not sure what happened, but
okay.
um, Another
So
day, another time.
So Code Guide seems like a really cool, like for new people that don't know how to set up their environments, that want to kind of
Yep.
like explore like this kind of automated thing where it's, almost like the auto heal mode, right? But it's like auto build mode almost. So
Yep.
it's a good starting point for like new people, but it sounds to me like it could have its caveats for like someone who knows how to already set up the environment. What would be an alternative way you would set up a project? Like I kind of showed my way with scaffolding last time. Like, what's your go-to? Like, is obviously Code Guide is something new for you, but
Yeah.
what has worked in the past best for you?
I honestly, Code Guide so far I'm very impressed with, but it's still like
Mm,
I'm pointing out the problems. It's my favorite so far to get started. Um, I really like it. I
mm,
think, and I actually talked with my best buddy just yesterday, who's getting familiar with AI. He's not in tech. He is prompting his AI to use the Socratic method with him. I think that's brilliant. Essentially, he is saying, AI, don't give me the answers. Ask me questions that will get you the right answers. And it was
okay.
interesting. And I was like, that's smart
Mm,
because I thought about that. He told me that yesterday, and I'm thinking about that today. I'm thinking about that now, where
mm,
there needs to be a certain amount of respect to where AI currently is and where humans are. And the amount of processing and foresight and context and tokens, I guess, that this brain can handle is
yeah.
fantastically larger than AI. So I'm looking forward to that next AI that, similar to Code Guide, asks questions and clarifying
Mm,
questions and takes the time. So, what's my favorite way to set up? It's this, and still, we're not there yet.
mm.
So, I'm sure there's other devs out there that might know another way for environment setup, but I've been impressed with this. And to get started, I'm quite happy.
Yeah, so I think definitely one of the empowering parts of AI is this idea where like you have like the large language model, you have this agent like mentality, and you have this kind of like tools and actions that can be looked up to do different things. And now we have like MCP servers, which are basically essentially APIs that
Yep.
extend the searchability of like an agent. But now there's this kind of like, well, I mean, not now, it's definitely been a thing for a while, is like internal memory for the agent, session-based
Yes.
memory,
Yes. 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 Yes.
access
Yes.
to like more advanced structures of memory, like
Yep.
in the forms of knowledge graphs.
Yep.
And so, yeah, I think we're definitely going to see better architectures of these agents because like the first wave of
Yeah.
them have been really really powerful, but I think there's
Yep.
also a chance to like really improve that in the next like you know uh, year or so. We're going to
Yeah.
see a drastic change with that.
Yep. Yep. I am looking forward to that. I feel this is a good place for AI right now, where it will eventually. How do I stop sharing the screen? There we go. Stop
Yeah.
sharing. There we go. It will eventually, of course, be. I don't know. It's hard to say definitively right now because I could not have imagined this just 6 months ago. Though I'm happy, I do feel very much happy to be at this place personally, where I at least feel 5% aware of what's going on out there. And that makes me happy enough. Where if I can maintain 5% awareness of this chaotic industry, I feel great. I feel great. And so I hope that for you too. 5% awareness is that's a huge ask.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
it's a fast moving thing, right? This is
Yeah.
like a lot going on in the industry, and
Yep.
but it's a great tool right now for especially like I think a lot of like tech companies out there are trying to build stuff fast and ship products, and I think it's funny how like AI is kind of like saving us because there's definitely a need to like build stuff quick, especially in like the
Yep.
crypto industry, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
um, as you know. So I think yeah, AI is really going to help a lot in the next like couple years,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Well,
exciting.
hopefully this was helpful for you to see Code Guide. And
Mm.
if you want my login, I'm happy to share it with you, so you don't have to pay the 29, and we can go
Oh, that's
ahead
what I
and
was going to ask you. So it's 29.
it's 29. So it's pricey, but like it's good. It's for what it does, and natural language is code now.
Hmm.
It's very good. So if you're a developer wanting to get started and really wanting to one shot a framework of an app very clearly, I think it's very good. But now, originally with this show we were talking about like pinging back and forth with the prompts. I think that's almost too much because it's like too much screen switching.
Yeah.
But I do like this idea of pinging back and forth between you and me week to week.
Yeah. Well, we're
so
gonna
so
figure it
far
out.
we've
The next time we do it,
well
we're gonna make it
yeah
work.
we'll figure yeah we're
And
gonna
if
figure it out.
anything, we'll just like
Um,
do some gambling with some ETH or something somehow.
if anyone wanted to come to our live stream, we'll be gambling with some ETH. That's what we do. We vibe and we just see numbers go up, numbers go down.
So yeah, no.
Anyways, I feel like this is a good place to wrap it up. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
thanks everyone for coming. I just want to say, like, if you are watching this, please subscribe to the Crypto Mastery channel. So it'll
Mhm.
be in there, and then please, yeah, join the Telegram chat. We have that link floating around. So please join it. Oh, it's up here in the corner. It's like
Yep. It's
over
very
there.
tiny. Very, very tiny in the
Yeah.
corner.
So, but yeah, thanks so much, Marcus. That was a really good overview, and yeah, it's cool to see like some tool like that that kind of I think it's really good for like new people, especially like that don't know how to set up an environment. So
Yeah, and I think it's good for the new people, and also like for us, we read it like English. It's like if someone saw that tech stack and the PRD, they'd be like, okay, they have no. There's still a large gap, and
yeah,
so, uh, yes, beginners with some experience.
yeah, for sure. No, definitely, and also for like product design, just like trying to come up
Yeah,
with something that
yeah,
is like if gonna fit your use case. It like kind of helps you vet it and like think through the process,
yep,
right? So
yep,
that's cool.
exactly. Awesome. All right, Kevin. Well, great chatting, and everybody, thanks for hopping on to this Vibe Coding Friday. We'll keep these going on Fridays, and we hope to vibe code with you soon. Does that work?
Yeah,
Because
we hope to vibe code with you soon. I like that.
we're gonna work on this tagline, but
We just have a different tagline every
every
week.
vibe
There
code.
is no one
No, we
tagline.
just make up a tagline. We're gonna just scream tagline at the audience. Tagline, and
What
then
was I saying? Come vibe with us.
come
I
vibe
was like,
with us.
next week, come vibe with us.
Yeah. We just come vibe with
Just
us.
come
Come,
vibe.
yeah, just come. Yeah, come on. Just come on. Just come on. All right, man.
Awesome.
See you, everybody. Take care.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.